It always has been. In an ever-changing world, who can predict the impact digital technologies will have on our jobs, our lives, on society as a whole? To prepare for this future, we need to rethink education, learn from the past, challenge our beliefs, overcome conventional learning, and follow our own ideas. Education needs to help us find out what makes us human, understand technology and all its potential, foster critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and curiosity-driven learning.
Code is a new kind of university, where curiosity leads to collaboration, where creativity embraces technology, where critical thinking is as important as knowledge.
At Code, we learn to collaborate and we collaborate to learn, following our curiosity and working on real-world projects. Because every project is a problem to solve, challenging us to come up with a creative and meaningful solution. At Code, we're software engineers, we're designers, we're product managers, an international community of entrepreneurs and digital pioneers from all over the world, working for a better tomorrow. Together, we don't try to predict the future, we invent it. At Code.
Doing something for the very first time. At Code, we got quite used to this, which is also not a big surprise when you are founding a brand new university from scratch, building a campus for the very first time, seeing students on this campus for the very first time, but also hiring team members, professors, coming up with our really own curriculum, everything for the very first time. This might sound exciting and cool in the beginning, but I can tell you one thing, it's also super challenging. So when COVID-19 hit us and the rest of the world, we directly knew that we need to adjust to the new circumstances. And this is also the reason why we are also here at the moment, staring at our screens and are not together in a cinema in Berlin. My name is Britta Kiewit. I'm the CXO at Code University, and I would like to officially welcome you to our very first virtual demo day. As you can see, we are here live on campus, and here, of course, with face masks. The half of the team is here as well. And before I spoiler more, I would like to introduce you and welcome our official moderator of the night, Barb Iverson. Yay.
Thank you so much, Britta. Okay, as Britta said, my name is Barb Iverson. I'm a faculty member here in interpersonal skills, and I'm also part of the student lifecycle team. And it is my great pleasure to be your host this afternoon to walk you through all of the project presentations we have from our students from this semester. Welcome to all of those of you who are on YouTube joining us live, and everyone who's also in the Zoom call. If you want to post today, on social media, if you'd like to tweet or put something on Instagram or Facebook or whatever you'd like to use, the hashtag that we're using today is #CodeRemote. So there it is on your screen, hashtag #CodeRemote. Anything you post, please use that. We want to see it. So we're so excited. And as Britta said, we were in a cinema, Kino Internacional, last year. And at this moment, we were all walking around with champagne glasses, greeting one another, mingling a bit. Super excited for the show to start. And well, right now it feels like I'm quite alone here. So let's go to the Zoom call. We have our whole Code community joining us in a Zoom call that you on YouTube can also see. And we're going to just take a look at a few of the people who are here so that I don't feel so alone. Who else do we have here right now? Ah, Jonathan. So happy to see you. Everybody wave. They're all muted, so they won't be able to say anything. But this is their chance to wave, blow kisses, give peace signs, virtual high fives. Manuel, the president of our university, welcome. Fantastic to see you. Who else do we have here? We're just going to focus on Manuel for a while. Ah, Adam. Sure. So look at the bow tie. Very fancy. Oh, indeed. My goodness. We'll be hearing directly from Adam later. All right. Anybody else that I can see? Hopefully all of you in code are using the gallery view to see all the many, many faces that are joining us here. I love this already. Oh, look at that. I'm not sure what that is. Someone's rooftop or ceiling. This is all very exciting. Alpaca calling. This is like Eurovision. Alpaca calling. Okay. Well, if the alpaca wants to join us, they're very welcome to. But no? All right. Good. Before I hand over to the Chancellor, because he has a few words to say as welcome as well, I'd like to take you through the schedule of what you can expect this afternoon. So we have 12 projects to show you from all different types. Some of them are partner projects, and you'll see who our partners are later. And some of them are projects that are only code students. Others are less outcome focused, less about the products that they create during the semester and more about learnings and research. We'll go to those as well. So there's a lot of variety for you to take in this afternoon. Later, we'll have project exhibition, which will be Zoom calls, individual Zoom calls. Ah, great, there it is. So at 5:15, we'll see how the timing goes. 5:15 is the project exhibition time, and that will be individual Zoom calls where you can interact directly with the students that you'll see in the project pitches, foundations projects, faculty spotlight, and the glimpses. So there's a lot coming up and ways that you'll be able to get involved. And don't forget, 8 o'clock tonight, Berlin time, the semester closing party. Of course, we will not be on a rooftop somewhere. The weather's kind of bad anyway, but we will be virtual. Some of our students and team members have put together a super special party for us to join in, and we're excited to do that. But without further ado, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our Chancellor from Code, Tom Bacham. Yay!
Thanks, Barb. Hi all together. It's really strange to be here on that campus, that huge campus that we've built up over the last years, basically only with a handful of people. But at the same time, it's also very magical, and I think a great sign that what we do at Code and what our learning concept is all about works regardless of whether you're physically here on campus or working and learning and collaborating from home. And I think it's a great learning opportunity for us that that we can now find out whether there's even a bigger opportunity for Code and for all of our students to continue evaluating how to work together even when not here. And actually, like it has been a crazy ride up until now, and the demo day is really a special moment for all of us, even when done remotely. Because like when we started this university in 2017, it was mostly me and my co-founders, Manuel and Jonathan, with this crazy idea of building a university that is state recognized and accredited while still totally different from what we usually know from other universities. And I can tell you that that there are a lot of crazy stories where I don't have time to tell them right now, but it really has built up into this amazing place with 350 students from over 65 countries these days, and it's a really amazing international community. And community is really something that's important to us. And that's why at the same time it's very tough for us to relearn how to build and how to foster a community when we cannot meet physically. I think that has worked out pretty well, and I'm really excited also to our upcoming semester now in fall, starting September, where we for the first time, due to COVID-19, try out to let students participate remotely as well, because we want to give everyone the opportunity to participate here. We want to take this chance and build something great out of it, and I'm really looking forward to that. But I'm really looking forward to the projects we're going to see right now, and to one very special thing, because there's one thing that happened just recently, and that's our first 2 graduates here at Code. So it is basically proven that, that people can graduate here, that people can study successfully at Code, and that is really a milestone for us. And I'm really happy that I think we have Oluwatobi Adenka here on the call also, who is officially our very first graduate, and I think a great example of what a Code student can achieve and can do. Hi, Toby.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, really great to have you on the call. Thank you so much. I would just like say a few words about you and how you came here, because I still remember the admission day in 2017, our very first year, where you applied to Code. And what we always do at these admission days is we ask people to describe themselves with 3 hashtags, right? That's something that has become kind of a motto here at Code. And we actually found yours, Toby. I don't know if you remember them, but they were empathy, existentialism, and positivity. Maybe you can quickly like tell us something about why you chose those 3 hashtags. Do you still remember them?
I don't remember them, but I definitely believe that I said those, because I think just hearing them actually triggers the feelings again that back those hashtags. For empathy, I guess generally it's one of the things I like to just keep in mind whenever I move around during the course of the day. I just think one of the basic things that makes life worth it is just to always keep in mind the perspectives of what everyone around you is going through. I think the world is always a better place when you can try to be of help whenever you can. Just try to imagine what is it that the person next to you is going through, and how can you be of assistance or just brighten someone's day, basically. Especially in times like this where we've seen in the last few days where the world is just going into very chaotic situations. But I think empathy has always been I'm getting lost in my words now, but I just think it's a very good, the world with empathy is a wonderful place to be, basically. For the next one, for positivity, I think when I found Code, most people that know me would know that I was in a very, not an ideal situation in my life, but I think one of the things that kept me going was the positivity, basically. I think if you don't have positivity when you're dealing with yourself, it's kind of hard to break through anything. So I think whenever you go through at any point in time, always keeping your eye, like things could always get better. You never know how things turn around. And actually, with the way my life turned out with Code, I would never have imagined before the 3 years ago, when I found out about Code, the way I am right now it's a testament to what positivity can do, basically. And actually, I forgot the third hashtag, so could you please remind me?
Existentialism.
Aha. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite, outside of tech and just anything else, it's just one of the questions I like to ask myself about what is the origin of anything and why are we here and what is the goal of everything, pretty much. So, yeah.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. And that's actually also how I experienced you while you were here on campus. Definitely positivity. And I think that is the thing that most Code students share. And existentialism, I think, is a great example of Code students that always look beyond what they're doing and think about the world and how they can like not just be coders or designers or product managers, but really change the world and think about how technology and society influences all of us. And I think that's very typical, actually, and a very great example. And actually, like, congratulations again. While this is not the official graduation ceremony, because that is still to come, I want to congratulate Oluwatobi on graduating in just 5 semesters, which is shorter than what we typically anticipate, because he was really a quick learner and he brought a lot of skills here already, which is something that a lot of Code students do as well, while a lot of Code students also come here to learn coding, to learn design, to learn product management from the very start on. Both is possible, and we really want to bring all of them together here and give everybody a great chance for that. There's one more very important thing I didn't mention yet, and that's our partners. because you will see in some projects how important it is to not just come up with fun ideas or crazy projects. That is a very important part of code on one hand, but also to make it really meaningful, to transform how industries, how society works, and that can only be achieved by collaborating with organizations and companies out there. And I'm really proud that we have a lot of very integrated partners here, well-known brands, most respected brands that believe in our vision, believe in what we do, and support us not just financially, which is really of a big help for a small and private institution like us, but also and most importantly through their projects, through their expertise, and through really giving students a chance to get a look into their industries and to come up with ideas to make the world a better place together. So thank you very much to our partners also, and now enjoy the show.
Thank you so much, Tom. As he said, it's time to jump right into the student project presentations. To give you a picture of how we came up with these, there was a jury who decided on the six that we're going to see next. And we chose them based on criteria. So some examples of the criteria we used are what they learned or how much they learned during the semester. Do we see critical thinking in the work that they've done? Did they show self-reflection in being able to look at the process? Were they empowering others as a team? Did they deepen their own curiosity? And even are any of these potential startups? So COVID-19, of course, has been said, and as you all know, created quite a new situation here for us and quite a few new challenges. So before I introduce each group, I'm also going to tell you where each of the team members, or where all of the team members spent the semester, because some of them were all in Berlin, but many of them had at least one team member somewhere else. So we're going to be watching videos. Some of the team members will also be joining us live to share a little bit more about their project with us. And basically, we are so proud of the work that they've done. We think it's amazing, and we're thrilled that we have a chance to celebrate it with you. So first up is a hybrid, but meaning that we'll see a couple different things from this team, but it's SurVRval. And Julia is here live with us. There's the team name, and you can see the team members. They worked from Berlin and Hungary during this semester. And Julia is here, and she is going to tell us about their project. Julia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Barb. Okay, so did you know that consuming 2 kilograms of beef contributes to as much climate change as flying from New York to London? Or that global CO2 levels are higher than they've been in the past 23 million years? Or that due to deforestation, forest land in the size of Poland is lost every single year, with even more land being lost to resulting forest fires? These are just a few of the shocking facts behind climate change. Now, we all know climate change is a super huge issue, so we can't solve it all. So we've decided to focus on one specific problem, which is the fact that we feel very detached from the environmental consequences of our actions. For example, you may have noticed that a lot of the products you consume are made in China. What does this mean for China, though? This means that they are constantly burning fossil fuels, which is creating very bad air quality there. And so due to this air pollution, 1.6 million children and adults are dying every year in China. And globally, actually 7 million people are dying due to air pollution, according to the World Health Organization. So while we in Germany and most of Europe do not really feel the drastic effects of our behavior, people across the world are dying. And once we will feel the consequences too, it'll be too late. And this is where we can see that we lack an emotional connection from to the consequences of our actions. This is our solution. So as you could see, our solution is a VR survival game. The reason we chose to make it in virtual reality is because this makes the experience more immersive, which is creating exactly this emotional connection that we aim to put between the human and the virtual environment around them. And as you can see, we also chose to make it a game. And this is because this creates an interactivity. So rather than educating or telling the person what they should be doing, it allows them to make the choices on their own and just experience the natural consequences of them. So as you saw in the video, the player chose to cut down trees, and as a natural consequence, this started creating pollution in the air, and eventually there were even fires starting because of the deforestation taking place. So this is just the beginning. This is only our prototype. We plan to continue working on this and making the world even bigger and more intricate. So all of this is to contribute to our vision, which is we hope that in the future, we can all be invested in the impact of our behavior on the environment. Thank you very much, and join us later in the Zoom room SurVRval to find out more, and we're happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julia. It's really phenomenal to see what they were able to do in a semester of work, and I can't wait to see what they do in the next semester. Next up, we have the project team Riot Mesh. There are 5 members, and they were in Berlin, Denmark, and Israel during this semester. Let's watch the video together.
Governments all over the world are either monitoring our communication or shutting it down. We are Riot Mesh, and we're tired of this shit. Our product allows you to build and operate your own communication networks. Get it. Authoritarians don't like a well-connected public. And if it's not a government shutting the internet down, nature could. We can find lacking cell coverage in the majority of developing nations and in rural communities worldwide. Yes, also in Europe and the United States. And don't even get me started about Berlin during demonstrations or festivals. Without our communication networks, there's no way to call the firefighters or an ambulance. Without our communication networks, there wouldn't have been an Arab Spring or the still ongoing protests in Hong Kong, amongst others. They all rely on essential communication, which is the ability to send text messages, phone calls, and GPS data over long distances. We want this essential communication to be absolutely reliable. No more dead spots, outages, and no government interference. We want communication to be private and secure. Your private life should remain private. Everyone should have access to essential communication, not just you and me, but a farmer in rural Germany, an activist in Russia, a hurricane survivor in Puerto Rico, and everyone in Kashmir. People and communities should decide where coverage is needed, not corporations. We work on giving anyone the ability to create and run their own communication networks. We worked incredibly hard to realize this vision, and now, for the first time ever, you can see it in action.
Then check this out.
Looks exciting, doesn't it? A Raspberry Pi with Riot Mesh firmware allows you to connect your device to a mesh network which has automatic discovery capabilities. This means that they will find all the other Pis in the mesh network and their clients. Then you can request communication with any of them. Mesh is at the heart of our application. A mesh network is a network where all the participating nodes are interconnected, either partially or completely. Instead of relying on an infrastructure of a few highly expensive and vulnerable nodes to serve many users, each user in a mesh network becomes a node on their own. Here in cities or other areas with great network coverage, we easily forget that not everyone enjoys the same connectivity as we do. Rural areas worldwide lack network coverage. It is often either too complicated or simply not worth the effort for telecom operators to connect these areas. A mesh network would be ideal in a place like Vík am Dáž, a remote village by the Baltic Sea. Vík has precisely one internet hotspot for its 700 inhabitants plus seasonal tourists. If you are not close to the main road, cell coverage quickly drops. They ask telecom operators directly to get better connected, but with no success. If people in Vík would coordinate to deploy our devices, they could quickly build their own communication network. All of this for a fraction of the cost of a cell tower. Let's say one of Vík inhabitants is Carl, who works in the nearby forest. He needs to stay in contact with his coworkers if something should happen to one of them. Carl wants to send a message to his coworker Friedrich, but Friedrich is not in range with Carl. Luckily, Rosa is located in between them, so the message can hop from Carl to Rosa and from there to Friedrich. If Rosa would go offline, the message would automatically be routed through someone else who is also connected to both of them. In this way, each new device allows the network to become more resilient with greater coverage and overall more bandwidth. A community after a hurricane could quickly rebuild crucial communication to save lives, and demonstrators could always stay in contact and coordinate even if the government shuts traditional networks down. So far, we've built the firmware for our devices and software that goes along with it. Currently, we're using Wi-Fi as transport. However, we plan on switching to radio and supporting other transport protocols as well. Our work will be 100% open source and as modular as possible so that anyone can adapt the software to their needs. The possibilities become near endless. We have laid the foundation, but there is still more to do before we can go to market within the year. And now we need your help. We are looking for new team members and partners that are motivated by our vision. We started this video with activism and we want to end with it. We want to take a stance for communication to be unrestricted and accessible for everyone. We will support activism wherever it need be.
Wow, really unbelievable what they've already accomplished, and as I'm sure you're all thinking, how incredibly timely. I want you all to just think for a moment, clearly this is an extremely hardware-heavy project, and they were all working together here on campus until the middle of March, when some left and some stayed in Berlin, but none of them could work directly together. And yet, somehow, they made it work, and they continued to work on their project that was so hardware-heavy. So we really applaud them for that. The next two projects are partner projects. And as Tom mentioned earlier, we have a whole bunch of partners that work with us that not only provide financial assistance for code, but also are involved in what we do in projects. And so they're involved in the students' work. They come to campus at the beginning of each semester and pitch projects alongside students of what they're interested in and what they'd like to see happen. And this one, the first one, is called Quantum Computing Solution to the Job Shop Program. That's easy. So I have to tell you that when Robin presented for the jury, we all said, that looks phenomenal. Does anyone know what he said? And you'll know what I mean. So let's watch the video together.
This project is a research project that happened in cooperation with the Telecom Innovation Laboratories. In computer science, there are certain problems impossible to be solved by regular computers in a non-exponential manner. The newly emerging field of quantum computation can help with that by providing new ways of doing computations. In my project, I explored this new field by implementing a quantum computing solution to one of these difficult problems. Let me try to explain the problem here. Imagine you own a factory and have multiple machines, each able to do one job, like drilling, sewing, hammering, etc. Now you want to produce multiple different things at the same time, and everything needs to make use of some machines to be completed. Instead of having long rows of items that wait for machine X to finish with its current piece before it can pick up the next one, ideally you want to have every machine working at something all the time, so that the maximum time needed to complete all pieces is as low as possible. This may sound simple, but it's actually a well-known problem in classical computing called the job shop problem, which I try to solve using quantum computation. But what is quantum computing? Where we have bits in our regular computers, which always correspond to either 1 or 0, we have so-called qubits in our quantum computers. They can be in the state of 1 and 0, or they can be in a superposition, where they are in both states at the same time until we measure them. You can imagine it as tossing a coin. While it is mid-air, we can think of it as being heads and tails simultaneously, until we decide to capture it and check the result. This result will be completely random. With the possibility of qubits being in both states at the same time, a larger amount of them can do a plethora of computations simultaneously, while a classical computer can do only one. That way, Google's quantum computer was able to perform a computation with 53 qubits in 200 seconds, where the most powerful supercomputers would take 10,000 years, according to Google's calculations. After this quick introduction, let me go into a bit more detail on my solution. For the solution, I defined multiple constraints, first as a sentence, then mathematically. These constraints contain things like every operation must run exactly once, every machine can only work on one operation, every operation inside a job can only start if the previous one is finished, and many more. These constraints are then converted into code. Now, after giving it a problem we want to solve, the structure for the quantum processing unit, or QPU, is laid out by assigning different energy levels for all possible combinations of operations. These energy levels are all saved in a quadratic unconstrained binary optimization model, or short QUBO. The QUBO is nothing more than a big upper triangular matrix. This QUBO is then sent to our QPU. It aligns and couples the qubits based on it, and then simply let it collapse. Physics doing its thing, it will most likely collapse into the lowest energy state possible, which maps to our optimal solution. We run the same problem a couple of times to statistically go sure with that. Now our factory can run an optimal schedule and everyone is happy. Yay!
Did I tell you? Do you feel smarter now? I think we all do. Thank you so much, Robin, for that amazing work. I just want to say, someone in the chat from Code was like, so much math. We all feel that way. All right, the next video is from the project Bug Triage. And Marcel first has a video, and then he's going to join us live. So let's watch the video together.
This is Marcel. He bought a new car with a really cool entertainment system from Bosch. While driving, he really loves to listen to music. Thank God he can now connect his smartphone to his car's speaker system. But this time, for some reason, the system crashed. And no, it's not because Marcel is still using an iPhone 7. Software errors like this are collected and sent to Bosch's tech team in order for them to solve this issue. However, in the past, the system was unable to communicate the error directly to the team responsible, which led to unnecessarily long processing times.
Okay, there has to be a better way of solving this. Luckily, Code University and Bosch founded a partnership to solve this task by using machine learning and natural language processing. Isn't that right, Thomas Kleinebesten?
Thank you very much for the introduction. Yes, issue and ticket handling is one of the challenging tasks in our projects. We are developing very complex software systems with million lines of code in an international environment with around 600 people for our project. And of course, we are using professional issue tracking systems with dedicated workflows where we handle the amount of tickets, the daily amount of issues which are coming in. Could be a change request by the customer, a question, a ticket, things like these. And we have calculated that this manual work costs us some 100 euros per ticket. And we would like to reduce this amount of money that we are spending here. For example, in finding a way to make an automated analysis before. For example, has this question already been asked some days or weeks before? To which team could we address this ticket? Or is the quality of the ticket the question that is asked not in the way that we're expecting it?
Now I would like to give you a short introduction on how I try to solve this problem. Here we see the raw data set I got from Bosch. You can see there are a lot of special characters, HTML color codes, or words which were written together which shouldn't be. So we tried to clean this data set as good as possible. And finally, we have an input data set where we have the raw text, which is already cleaned now, and the corresponding label, which represents the software team. Now, after trying several different model architectures, I decided to use this one. It is a fairly simple one, but the test set showed good results. First, we have an embedding layer, which transforms the text input to a vector representation. Then we use a spatial dropout to regularize the model. And then we use a GRU layer, which is an approved layer for natural language casts. And finally, we have the dense layer to make the prediction on the 40 classes. Here you can see the final results of the model. The more dark blue points we have on this diagonal axis, the better the model performs. In general, we have an accuracy of about 80%, but you can also see some outliers here and here, which maybe could be improved by using more data. So this was a little introduction. Thank you for watching.
Wonderful. Okay, Marcel is joining us live. Marcel, can you unmute yourself and join us? Hey, nice to see you.
Definitely, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Fantastic. Wonderful. I have a couple questions for you. The first one is maybe a little bit dumb, but what exactly is bug triage? I have to be honest, when I first saw that, I thought, ooh, insect hospital, but I don't think that's what it means. Can you give it to us in a sentence what bug triage means?
Yeah, so bug triage is like in software development, you often, if you have problems in your code, you write a bug ticket, which means like you write down where you have a problem. And the bug triage means that it's the way of prioritizing the tickets and
to check that all tickets will be solved in the future. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's excellent. And my other question is, what attracted you to working with Bosch on this project?
I think it was a really cool combination, like the new way of learning and this global big player Bosch. And the combination is really cool because I also visited them at Hildesheim and we like discussed the problem together. I had to understand what they're doing, how they're doing it. And it was really interesting for me to deep dive into their problems.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us live. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon along with your fellow students. And we will move on to the next two projects. All right. So the next two projects are part of a new section of code called Code Catalyst. And to tell us more about that, I've invited one of the team members, Aya, to join me here. Aya, would you come on over? Wait. Let's be safe. If I can still see. Okay, there I am. Still the thing in my ear? We're good. Hi, Aya.
Thank you,
little
Bob.
foot tap. Woo! Yeah, all right. And you can see my socks. All right, so Aya, sorry about that. I do know your name, you know that.
I do.
Aya, would you tell us about Code Catalyst? What is
Sure.
it and what's special about it?
Sure. So the Code Catalyst is Code's entrepreneurial hub, and it's an umbrella that hosts many programs under it to help students with their startups in the different learning journey of their startup life. One of the programs actually is starting in just 10 days, and it's our summer incubator program. We're very excited. We have 8 different projects that we want to turn into companies. And throughout this program, with the help of experts and mentors, we want to make them investor ready by the end of the program.
Fantastic. Very exciting. Thank you so much for coming and joining us on campus. I would say give her a round of applause, but it's just me. So yay. Thank you. Wonderful. So I'm super excited. Oh, I don't have to wear this anymore. Always be safe. I'm super excited to introduce the next two teams that are part of this Code Catalyst project, and they will have 3 months this summer to really develop in an incubator setting. And so the first one is called Sharinghood. All of the team members were in Berlin during this time, even though it's a super international team. Let's watch the video together.
A year ago, I moved into a new apartment and I had to buy so much stuff to get my furniture built up. You need so many tools to put up your painting, to build up that wardrobe, the bed, to clean everything. And I ended up buying so many new things that I had never needed before. And once I used them once, I had to buy a dedicated place or a dedicated wardrobe to put all the things in. And guess what? After I put everything in that wardrobe, I never use them again. I don't have to own this. Why is there a place where I can just go borrow it and give it back? Because I only need it once.
Sharinghood would fit into the circular economy, and this basically means that you extend how often products are used. So instead of just buying something, using it once or twice and then throwing it away, what we do is we make sure that the product gets used more often.
For me, Sharinghood is a new way to get items, and this way is more environmentally friendly and a more social way than we do it at the moment.
The topmost priority in our platform is communities and the users. So users can join our platform by either joining an existing community or creating one, becoming the creator.
And then there are 2 activities. If you need something, you request your item. And if somebody else needs something, you share your item. And that's basically it. The goal is to have a database of all the available items so you can see what is actively away from you.
I think nowadays it's very easy just to buy stuff compared to, I'd imagine, what it's like 50 years ago. So it's very easy to develop this habit of just buying and buying stuff.
One thing I noticed while working on Sharinghood is actually my overall consumer behavior has changed. The things that I buy, I'm buying more consciously. I really think about, do I really need that? Is it going to make my life better? I also hope that by them trying out Sharinghood, they will also become more conscious of their behavior.
You're just confronted with so much information nowadays, like advertisements here, you need this product. And I feel like We just need to reduce everything a little bit to give our brain a little bit of time. There's a certain feeling of freedom, that there is an opportunity that allows you to borrow something rather than spending money on it and really owning it.
To me personally, seeing clutter, it makes me uneasy. And either I get rid of it, I throw it away, which is not really good, or I wish to share it with someone. And that way I can make that item be used to its full potential.
I believe in our generation, it's not anymore about what you own and what you can pay for, but it's more about what experiences you have, and therefore owning an item, it doesn't define you anymore. So yeah, you don't need to own that much.
I moved from a very small village to a huge city like Berlin, and even though you'd think there are so many people living in Berlin, it makes you feel lost and it makes you feel very lonely very quickly. And having this community, which Sharinghood enables you to build, literally build on your own by inviting people on this network, gives you this feeling of home, gives you the feeling of coming home to a small family, even if they're not your best friends. Just knowing the people is such a good feeling, and that was a very nice thing that I discovered while building my own Sharinghood community.
So it would be amazing for Sharinghood to be well known across Berlin and to be the go-to platform for people to share items with their neighbors. Would be amazing. Cool, nice, very good.
Yeah, but that answer was a bit...
Okay, you can do it again. The technology for Sharinghood, what would be your biggest dream?
Teleportation. Don't put that in there.
It's not that difficult.
I have a really bad memory. Wait, that was it? And I'm Kellen, I'm a software engineer for Sharinghood. Junior software engineer.
You collect things over time, so yeah. What was the question?
If you would, yeah. No, that's perfect. Exactly. I've been a conscious consumer for a longer time, but I can speak about items that my boyfriend buys on a regular basis. I know I'm making fun of your stuff.
Oh my god. Things we do.
I love this. Anything that has a blooper reel, I'm a fan. But really, what's amazing about this project is they got started this semester and then COVID happened and we all went into quarantine or lockdown. And they actually took the product live much, much earlier than they had planned to because they wanted to make it available to people during the lockdown, which is absolutely incredible. They're super proud of the fact that they have over 30 sort of unknown new users that are on the platform as well. So you can go to it, especially if you're in Berlin, maybe only if you're in Berlin, but you can see what it's about and find people in your community. So you can talk more with them during the exhibition. The next team is Susteyn. They worked from Berlin and Tunisia this semester. I know that Emil really had to work hard to get internet connection where he was staying. But we are going to watch this video and I hope you enjoy. Let's watch the video together.
The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Robert Swan. The concept of sustainability touches all aspects of life, be it housing, transportation, or food. This diversity of challenges in each industry screams for equally diverse ideas, solutions, and people to solve these challenges. It can only be achieved if everyone works together. Our food system today faces major challenges like urbanization, food waste, and general bad usage of resources. Without action, the world fails to meet the UN SDGs and the Paris Agreement. Today's children would inherit a planet that has been severely degraded. No one can save this planet on their own, but everyone can add their contribution to it. To feed 1.7 billion additional people by 2050, with our finite resources today, we need to transition to healthy diets coming from sustainable food systems. To achieve this, there are generally three big approaches that must work together. reducing food waste, a shift towards a mainly plant-based diet, and generally becoming more efficient in producing food. Knowing this big picture solution is great, but where exactly do we start? After intense research and countless interviews, we found an opportunity. Employees working in mid-sized offices are looking for more greens and nature in the workspace, as well as healthier lunch options. How do we do it? Indoor farming allows Susteyn to contribute to the sustainable food future and can solve the challenges for offices. Therefore, let me introduce our office farm, the very first of its kind. An indoor farming device that enables you to easily green your workspace and bring nature closer to you. It not only looks great, but also automatically grows fresh edible greens year-round. Imagine a lettuce that you yourself just harvested as a base to your salad. Or what about some freshly harvested microgreens for your smoothie? Or even just as a snack in between. What is special about our office farm, you might ask? We provide unique plant scheduling for large teams that ensures a weekly harvest. No more waiting, just harvesting. The intuitive user interface enables employees or guests to harvest or plant the available greens. No counts, no logins. Simply grow with your team. And here is how it works. You walk up to the farm and the overview panel shows you what you can plant or harvest. Choose one, select your plant, and harvest.
Hey everybody. If you paid close attention, you might have wondered that we're not actually filming in a real office. And that's correctly right. We're filming from a home office, more exactly from my apartment, because we had to move our farm from campus to my apartment due to the special situation. To get to this point that we just showed you, we had to overcome several challenges, and moving the farm was just one of them. We had challenges from, the 3D printing to the physical and software part working together. And I think overall the biggest challenge was that we actually had to get all the different pieces working together. And this was our biggest challenge, and I think still is our biggest challenge to move forward.
We think big and start small. We are only a piece of the puzzle, but this does not discourage us from starting anyways. We need diverse minds working towards a shared goal. We believe in the power of partnerships, teamwork, support for one another, and our responsibility to lead by example, to inspire others with bold actions. Join us on the journey to accelerate the transition into a sustainable food future. A brighter future is waiting for us. Let's make it happen.
So fun to see that. One of the cool things about that project is it was actually started in the fall of 2018 as the STS, the Science, Technology and Society Green Campus Project. So we've seen this as it's grown from something very small and how they've tried different things out to where it is now. And now that they're part of Code Catalyst, we know that they're going to grow and develop even more. And we're super excited to see what happens. So right now, it's time for a break. So this is your chance. Get up, stretch, go to the loo, get yourself a coffee, get yourself some ice cream, maybe pour a little wine. And we will see you back here at 4:05 Berlin time. See you in a few. Welcome back. What did you do during your break? All right, so our next section of projects are research and foundation projects. What does that mean? Well, you're going to find out. But these are generally not product-focused projects, but instead about the learnings that they receive and gain during the semester. So the first one is a product management research project, and it's called Zero Rebound Products. There you are, and let's watch the video together.
It's likely that the t-shirt and the pair of jeans that you're wearing right now needed almost 20,000 liters of water in order to being produced. That's a lot, right? Well, if we look at it from a global perspective, it should be no surprise that the fashion industry alone is responsible for almost 20% of the global water waste and about 10% of the global carbon emissions. And that is more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. Now, this is only by what we wear, and hopefully we do wear what we buy, because almost 3/5 of all clothing produced ends up in incinerators or landfills within years of being made. If you're into sustainable fashion, this is nothing new for you, but if you're anything like me, this could be an eye-opening discovery. And now you might be wondering, well, if all of this is happening, could the fashion industry ever get sustainable? And the answer is yes, absolutely. People, communities, and companies from all over are doing their best to find innovative ways to tackle the issues that are prevailing in the fashion system. Me, together with a team of 6 students and Professor Kota from the product management department, decided to take part in this. We put our energy and focus into researching the phenomenon of rebound effect in the fashion industry specifically. Now, rebound effect, that might sound confusing. And let me give you a simple definition of that. A rebound effect is a phenomenon that occurs when someone invents a new and more energy efficient technology that you might think will automatically lead to energy savings. But that's not always the case. In fact, you might end up with no savings at all, or even an increase in energy consumption. Some examples of that would be leaving energy-saving light bulbs more often than traditional light bulbs, or owners of fuel-efficient cars that tend to drive more often than the owners of less fuel-efficient cars. An example from the fast fashion industry is that fast fashion brands tend to lower the price of their products, and consumers buy more than necessary and end up not wearing what they buy. This is crucially important when it comes to sustainable product development. We have to make sure that the products that we build are going to be as sustainable as possible and generate as least rebound effect as possible. And that was the objective of the research project that I was part of. We initially set the goal to research different industries such as e-scooters, food, and fashion in order to identify the prevailing rebound effects that are happening in these industries. So we could ideally come up with solutions that might mitigate or even solve the rebound effects that we have identified. We ended up focusing on the fashion industry, and currently we are working on ideating different ways in order to tackle the prevailing problems that the fashion industry is facing. Working on our research project gave us the possibility to deep dive into a specific area of knowledge and to gain insights that otherwise I wouldn't have been able to gain. And the research on the fashion industry gave us the possibility to set a solid foundation for next semester to start a project as a result of the insights that we have been collecting during this time of research.
Wow. What's incredible about seeing videos like that is now I can't unlearn what I just learned. And it really makes me think about when I go shopping next time, how might this affect how I actually purchase products. So thank you so much for that, Mohammed. Great video. And what's super cool is that they spent that time this semester on research, and now they're going to take it further into the product phase. So we're looking forward to seeing what happens. The next foundations we want to look at is software engineering foundations. And to do that, Adam is going to join me live, not here on campus, but live in the call. Adam, are you there? Can you unmute yourself?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Hi from the other side of Berlin.
I don't know if other people can hear you better.
Can everyone hear me all right?
Say something again.
Hello, hello. Everyone check out the bow tie. They can hear me fine. All right, let's do it.
So let's assume that they can hear you better than me. Take it away. Tell us about software engineering foundations.
Great. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Adam. I do a few things at Code. I'm a professor here. And I want to say I found that the projects that we just heard from extremely inspiring. I also can't unlearn the things that we just heard, and I don't want to. And I think everyone else found this very inspiring too. The thing is, there's a journey to understand a lot of the methods that you need to even start to build something like what we've just been looking at, to understand some of the more technical aspects of digital projects or products. So we run the foundation semester in the spring. It's a chance for students to take their first steps towards learning how to program, towards the process of understanding how to build software, towards understanding what might be feasible. And this is a process that people are interested in. Maybe it's because you want to do this full-time professionally or to round out your skills. So this spring was obviously a very special one. The class itself it tends to be a full-time commitment from students or close to it. And there are very few lectures, right? This is code. There's a lot of students learning by building, working together, learning from one another, learning by doing. So making the shift to a remote learning situation for everyone was, of course, an extraordinary challenge. For us, it also meant a complete change in the way that the class would be running. So I have to say this added a whole new level of learning to a learning experience where most students were already exploring new subject matter, a new skill set, new methods, new ways to solve problems. So now that the semester's come to an end, I can proudly say the students who committed to this journey back in January stayed through it, through academically difficult months on campus, through an even more challenging period remotely. I can really proudly say you did it. You did an extraordinary job. And to learn more about what our students actually did, we've got a little video that I think you can start from the campus side. Hit it.
Thank you, Adam. Foundations Hub, it's been a journey, from working on campus to switching remote, from reviewing the basics to learning new stuff, from being stuck to having an almost finished project. Foundations took us on a ride.
What really frustrated me working on this Foundations project is that I would spend hours building something, only to realize later that I broke something else. So I would spend my time building something and then breaking the other and then fixing that, which broke another thing.
I think the most frustrating part is having to think so differently. I realized that the thinking of a software engineer is completely different, in my opinion, to the thinking of a PM. So kind of having like all these bugs and not really knowing how to solve them all the time really frustrated me in the beginning.
My server is no longer working with my new code.
I hate my server and my server hates me.
And you're like, should I rework or what should I do? And it's like, you're not really sure what to do. But I think all of it is part of the learning journey and learning curve. So I'm actually fine with all of it.
But at the end of the day, this is an experience I would have not wanted to miss out on.
The one thing that I learned and would keep throughout my career as a product manager is sometimes product managers, designers, even clients demand things from software engineers that are clearly impossible. And now I realize the struggle of software engineers.
I loved the feeling of looking at my code and being able to understand what each part of my code is doing and how it's all just working together.
Now we finally understand the languages of our software engineers in our team a little bit better.
I enjoyed learning about the different aspects of making a software, about the front and back end.
I ultimately very highly recommend Foundations project for anyone who kind of is scared of programming, because once you're done with that, I think most of the fears will be gone.
Definitely the most rewarding thing is being part of Code's community and how we all help each other with all different projects and support each other.
Especially rewarding is when you fix a bug that was bothering you for a while and you fix it in a very satisfying way with a very good solution. You're like, yes, yes, that's it.
Honestly, Watching that's so amazing to hear people speak with like joy and laughter about their journey in learning software engineering and not being afraid of programming languages anymore is, it's really incredible. So thank you for sharing that from everyone who was part of it. Okay, we've seen product management and software engineering, and now we'd like to take a look at the foundations for interaction design. Let's watch that video together.
The foundation project is about getting to know the users, speaking with users, getting comfortable with doing interviews, and this in depth. We have a couple of modules which going around the field, for example, design methods, for example, design strategy, which is more on the decision making, for example, design psychology, which is more on the experience and the psychological needs of the user. And we try to combine all this.
Nona and me thought about why we choose foundation project this semester and what our learnings were during the process.
We think it's super important to put a solid base underneath the next 2 years we still have in front of us as an interaction design student, and to learn how proper user research is conducted. And in the end, it's not only about the user research you do once, so it's more like an iterative process. So we knew, for example, the term of double diamond before, but we've never done any application of it. And only during the foundation project we got insights in how crucial it is to have done a proper user research.
At the beginning, we just focused on public transportation. We thought this is a very good topic because students can go out, observe things. While working on it, we figured out public transportation in the times of Corona was a tricky topic. And a lot of the students pivoted their project topics. So there were students looking into like how people stay connected to friends in times of Corona, how people organize their days, and so on and so on.
My name is Anamika. I am studying interaction design. Decided that understanding women's perspective on public transportation in Berlin will be an interesting topic. And that was based on all the research and then some of the conversation that I had with women. I had my emotional ups and downs. I also like the fact that it was not just about the project or the course, it was also about how we kind of looked out for each other. We provided that kind of support to each other. You know, they were like during the guild, there were people who were opening up. And if one or two people in the team, they do that, it kind of encourages everyone to kind of, you know, give in to their emotions.
So the project started with interview as a first method. So we practiced that. And then we learned also how to cluster the information gathered. And then we added more and more perspectives on it, like ethics, like psychology, like certain strategy aspects. And the whole idea was that we have a lot of contact with the student groups working on their topics, and therefore a very fast exchange on thoughts, and also a very good group dynamic in the sense of peer-to-peer learning.
In the beginning, my question was time usage while quarantine. I did a survey on that. And then after the insight from the survey, I did diary studies. And then I came to another research question, which was, how do people survive their time while quarantine?
My name is Igor. I'm a third-party student, and this was my second semester in interaction design. We want to do research in public transportation, but then Corona showed us that many people had to work from home right now. And this is not so common in Germany. Many more people could actually work from home instead of going to the office every day. But this is not the case. So I want to look at the positive aspects of the pandemic and how the pandemic will improve the situation in Germany. The most astonishing insight I gained was that people, while working remotely, do not take enough time for themselves. Like many of them have a pressure to be constantly productive, and this means that they have fewer breaks. In the office, for example, you can have a coffee with your colleagues, chat a little, and this is not possible at home, of course. And employees at home often work during the night and on weekends. And once or twice it's not a problem, but in long term, however, this can have very, very bad consequences on their health or well-being.
It's just incredible to us. I know I keep saying this, but the way our students embraced the challenges of the COVID-19 lockdown and things like not being able to study public transportation the way they'd expected, and still having a super meaningful research semester, it's really a testament to their hard work and the guidance that they had from Martin as their professor. So super well done. Really proud of the work that you all did. The last 4 projects we're going to talk about are something really special to us, and they're called Faculty Spotlight. What does that mean? That means that we asked faculty members which project teams they were aware of that they thought deserved special mention for some specific reason. And we gave them the opportunity that you'll see in videos, and then one of them will be live talking with members of the team, but really to share with you something that they thought, even though they weren't chosen by a jury, maybe they hadn't even applied into being chosen, but there's something really special about these teams that they thought needed to be recognized. So we're thrilled to do that now, and the first one is from Peter in the software engineering department. Let's watch that video together.
Hello everyone. I would like to spotlight one of the student projects that I had the honor to assist this semester. This is about Mona, Vincent and Lenny, who have learned and achieved something great. They started with the very ambitious goal of building a marketplace for security token offerings, or STOs for short, which is a topic at the intersection of blockchain technology and finance. However, after building their first concept prototype in just one day, and after additional research, they repositioned themselves. They decided to focus on blockchain-based real estate investments and called it Token Street. In my opinion, Token Street very nicely combines core aspects of our 3 study programs, developing a completely new digital product that is based on novel technology and that requires novel interaction design, so that everyone can actually understand how to grasp and use security tokens for real estate investments. It makes me very happy to see what Mona, Vincent and Lenny have achieved in this short amount of time, and I wish them all the best.
Thank you so much for that, Peter. The next one that we have is from Florian in the product management department. Let's watch that video together.
As the streets and stores are filling with shoppers again, many people are also looking for ways to reduce the negative effects of their shopping behavior on the environment. But it's hard to find out where the alternatives are, which products are better than others. This is where Reduzel came in. This team set out to build technology to make fashion shopping more transparent, so that when you look at a t-shirt on a website, you know what its footprint on the environment is and which similar t-shirt might actually be better. This is a tough problem to solve because clothes consist of many materials and are produced in many steps of manufacturing. Perfect knowledge is pretty much impossible. Hi, my name is Florian Grote. I'm a professor of product management here at Code. And what made Reduzel so impressive this semester was that despite being a pretty large team at 8 people, they were all laser focused on helping each other, not just for the product outcome, but especially in terms of their individual learning goals and the modules that they wanted to achieve this semester. For Nick, the product manager, this was his capstone project, which is the last project that you do as a student at Code, and where you bring in all the experience that you gained throughout your studies. For this faculty spotlight, I caught up with 4 of the team members. Let's bring them in. Cool, so thanks a lot for joining me for this spotlight. Could you just quickly introduce yourself and what you did on this team?
Sure, I'll start. I'm Katja. I was a software engineer, mostly focused on, started off with data science and research, and then towards the end, more towards the payment and compensation of the fashion product.
I'm Dora. I'm also a software engineering student.
In this project, I was focusing mainly on data science and on creating the algorithm that we required for our project.
I'm Nico. I'm also studying software engineering, and I was mainly working with Dora on the algorithm for calculating the CO2 emissions.
I'm Nick. It was my capstone project, and I was product manager.
Cool, thanks. So Nick, you're also the project originator. So what motivated you to propose this project for this semester?
So since a long time, I care really about sustainability because climate change obviously is a very obvious problem in this world. And it feels like not enough is happening because year by year, the carbon footprint of this world rises, right? And so we analyzed different aspects of how can we bring more sustainability to people. But behavior change is super complex, so we were looking for like really low effort applications. For example, we love Ecosia because it's so easy. You do what you did before, and it's just more sustainable. And so our idea was, to bring this really to online shopping, because the idea is to show the footprint and that people compensate the footprint of the items they buy. And this is so easy because it's exactly what people did before, but now slightly more sustainable. And because it is so easy, it's much more scalable than like complex behavior change initiatives.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And what about the others? Like, what was your motivation to then join Nick in this project?
For me, I'll start again, was made quite similar to Nick's motivation, to be frank. I also am really interested or really passionate about living a intentional and sustainable life, and I really wanted to contribute to that movement.
I loved the idea, and also I loved the people who were in the project. Additionally, I would add that from the very beginning, I felt really supported because I said that this semester I'm going to do data science. I have no idea how to do it, but I would like to do it. And I asked if anyone would mind that. And actually, everyone was really open to it, happy that I'm trying something new, and really willing to support me in my learning goals.
The idea was very interesting as well. This concept of doing good while kind of living more or less the same life still. And also, I really wanted to go in the data science direction, and this provided an opportunity to do that.
What would you say, like, how did you manage to integrate everyone's learning goals into the project?
I would say it was communication that really helped. So we had at least two, if I'm not mistaken, three occasions where we really went through all our goals, learning goals, and tried to help each other. Yeah, we did a lot of pair programming, and we just worked together. We had a project group, and I think that just helped immensely with our progress. Introverts were welcomed and had a no small talk, business only.
But also the other way around, no business, small talk only.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Fantastic to see them talking about it. You might have heard Nick say that this was his capstone project, and that means that it's his last project at Code. It's the one to finish out and use in his last semester. So really exciting that he could have a great group part of that with him. And I love the name Reduzel. Who doesn't love that? Okay, the third one. Eva is going to join us also from product management, and she is live, and she's going to join us directly in the call. Eva, are you there? I feel so Eurovision. This is amazing.
12 points from Germany.
Yay! All right, Eva, tell us all about it.
First of all, you're doing an amazing job, Barb. I must say this.
Thank
And
you
it
so
has
much.
also
That's very kind.
already been said in the chat as well. So I want to talk about the team. We heard several stories around how the lockdown had an impact on how we are doing things, and many people became just from one day to the other remote workers. We as the Code team also try to do our best to offer all meetings and also learning formats in a remote manner. But there were some question marks. So what about our student teams? How would they cope now with the situation? How would they overcome also feelings of loneliness and anxiety? And how would they design their remote collaboration process? I observed one team very closely who developed amazingly in these crazy times, who even became stronger through this. A truly resilient team from my perspective, who was able to quickly adapt to this radical change. The Library Next Gen team is working on a system integrated with the existing code infrastructure that will help students to find the right learning resources, to rent and return books to the library autonomously in an efficient and comfortable way. And I'm happy that 3 representatives of the team are now with us and can tell us more about how they accomplished the great team spirit and also great performance. Let's start with a brief introduction round. Tanya, who are you and what's your role in the team?
Thanks, Eva. My name is Tatiana. I'm product manager of the Code Library Next Gen team. We are a team of 6, and with me on the call is Maya, who is interaction designer, and Marcus, software engineer. 3 of our software engineers are watching us currently. Hi for you guys. And yeah, today we will tell you briefly what we were working on and how did we manage our communication. Eva?
So, looking back, how did the team actually formed and how did you make sure that you also grow together as a team? Marcus, maybe you can say something to that.
Yeah. So it all started with the physical library at Code. When you have a growing library, you quickly figure out manual processes are cumbersome and error-prone. So it was kind of obvious that we need a management system for that. And for the past semester, I decided that I wanted to work on such a system. And in the beginning, I thought about doing it as a solo project, which means working alone on the project, because I also wanted to include some technical challenges I was interested in. But I talked to other fellow students, which are also software engineers, told them about the project, and they told me that they're actually interested in joining the project. So I decided to turn it into an official code project. And when you actually wanted to deliver a product at the end, it is also quite helpful if you have all the roles of code represented in the project. So I asked Tanya and Maya to join the project as product manager and interaction designer. And yeah, just to make sure that we can deliver a good product for the code students and faculty. When it comes to growing as a team, I actually think that communication between team members is a key element of this whole process. In the beginning, we actually talked a lot about our motivation and what we value as a team. And another very important aspect is actually that you're transparent about what you want to accomplish. So basically aligning the expectations and to make sure that we actually accomplish what we want to do, we had regular check-ins. Eva.
Cool. And how did you define the details of the collaboration process? Tanya, maybe you can elaborate on that.
I would love to add to what Marcus said about that. We had our working Kanban board, of course, to see the project itself. We definitely had such meetings as daily stand-ups, which we were doing on Slack, weekly meetings, different kind of retrospectives, working sessions, various team coaching sessions. It all helped us to build proper communication and to be aligned in everything what we were working on. Eva?
What was, thank you. What was the main challenge when switching to remote work? So how did you cope with it? Maya, maybe you can say something.
Thanks. So one of our challenges was that we are very a social team. So we were working a lot together in the hallway of code or in the project room doing focus group, playing kicker, going in the weekend also sometimes together, and then switching to a virtual, which we cannot meet anymore. That was a bit of a challenge. So we started from doing every day, which is still continuing until now, a morning coffee, which we just talk about everything except the project. Also, we started to do that every Friday evening. We're doing a fun team, which we play games virtually or just talking. And wait, okay. And one of the things that we were supporting each other all the time. If someone we saw or a few people were feeling bad, we were trying to cheer up, check how they are, maybe going to a place still by the rules that we could do in Berlin, but maybe we were just like checking out how is he. We just kept on communication and keep our spirit up in this time. Thanks.
That sounds amazing. And I hope you keep the very good spirit also while continuing the project work in the summertime. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. And I think I will go hand over to Barb again.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Eva, and the entire team. It was really great to hear your story. And I also know, because I've talked to several members of that team, how the fun that they had and the way they really cared for each other. Great to see. All right, the last one from our faculty spotlight is Praz from the Interaction Design Department. Let's watch his video together.
When students really engage with primary research methods, this enables them to push beyond assumptions and generate real user-focused insights. Now, in the case of Igor and Marlena, they were really able to investigate the impact of COVID-19 on home working and its implications for the future in terms of the domestic working environment. Their work shows the relevance of engaging with foundation modules to develop key skills, and in this case, developing key skills within design research methods.
Thank you so much, Praz. That's the end of the project presentations. They've all grown up. It's hard to believe that it's finished, but actually it's not. We're not quite done. In a moment, I'm going to give you the instructions for how to join the project exhibition rooms, where all of the project team members will be available to chat with you, answer your questions, give you all the information you're looking for about their projects. But before I do that, I'm going to hand it over to Manuel Dolder, who is our Chancellor, and he has a few inspirational words he'd like to share with you. Manuel?
Thank you, Barb. Thank you, Barb. I'm really impressed. And just by the way, I don't want another job, so Tom can stay Chancellor, and I'll focus still on being President. But apart from that, what a ride! What a show! I'm really amazed, and it's so impressive. And I really feel humbled when I see what our students can create in sometimes in just one semester, a couple of weeks, when they work together, driven by, hopefully by their curiosity, by passion, and of course with the support from our faculty and staff. So thanks to everyone. That has been amazing 2 hours so far. And to be honest, I would really like to just enjoy myself right now, and probably you feel similar, but let's not forget what's going on in the world as we speak. And let me ask you this. Do you think our schools and universities are preparing students for such a world, for dealing with all the challenges we're facing today and probably also in the foreseeable future? I don't think so. I think in most cases, we're still stuck in this old idea of rewarding students for just following the rules and memorizing the facts, and then you get grades and degrees and praise. But instead, we should be
we should be empowering them. We should enable our students to live authentic and self-determined lives, to learn and to grow as a person. And we should equip them with everything they need to take on the world's problems that we're seeing so clearly today. So what does it mean? It means, and I mean, I've been talking about this for quite a while now, we need to empower them and enable them to see problems, to spot these problems, to take them on, to believe in their ability to actually make a difference. And then they need to be able to harness the power of teams to come up with actual solutions that might work. And of course, using tomorrow's technologies to co-create this future that we hopefully all want to live in. And for me, thinking about this, being at home with my kids in this Corona situation, I see that the current state of the world really challenges our educational system on a whole new level. And it's not only the system, it's also the students. And today we saw a few examples of how code students are taking on these challenges, step by step, team by team, project by project. And to be honest, seeing that makes me feel so much better about the future. So let's hope we can inspire others, educators, schools, universities, politicians to rethink education, question their current beliefs, as we all did when founding and building code together. So we'll use the summer to prepare for the new normal, whatever this looks like. We're going to be back on campus and we're very happy about this, but we also still need to protect everyone's health. And so we will still be doing a lot of things remotely. And the experience of going remote that was forced upon us over the last couple of weeks is actually a great basis for creating a new learning experience that is, hopefully the best learning experience possible under these circumstances. And it will not only inspire how we think about how we approach teaching and learning in fall, it will also influence the strategic projects we're working on right now at Code, professional education, master programs, new research approaches, and all things entrepreneurship that you already have heard a little bit about. So for all those who are not yet part of the Code community, stay tuned. There's a lot going to happen in the near future. And even though in the fall, a lot of learning will still happen remotely, we are just so happy to have our campus back. Even if it's just a small part of it, even if it's limited in number and the way we can actually use it. And so we wanted to show you a small video, but before we go to that, let me take a moment and really, really thank everyone who was involved in making this remote demo day happen. What a challenge that was, and what a great team effort. And so for me, the result has been amazing so far. So everyone involved, thank you so much for all the effort you put into making this possible. And then it's for me to give back to Barb or to directly show the small video. Enjoy.
So fantastic. What a great video. And I'm going to do this so that I can see you better. This brings us to the end of the live part of our presentation. Go to the project exhibition now. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks for joining us. All kinds of love from Code in Berlin. And we'll see you next time. Bye from campus.